So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about taking life for granted and why I feel like that's such a big problem, what it has caused, and just what it'll do to you. So I feel like I was praying about this actually. I was praying in the shower, and how this came about was I had a thought. I was praying about my girlfriend, and I was just asking God to help me to not take her for granted. Help me to love her like she should be loved and how God would love her. Although I know my love could never be perfect, but that's the goal. So I want to stay on topic here. I don't want to take life for granted. I don't want to take the people in my life for granted. I don't want to take the opportunities in my life for granted. So how do I go about changing the way I think, the way I speak, to where I'm not just putting all of my current circumstances and situations that I've been blessed with, the things that are a blessing, the things that maybe they're trials and tribulations, but how do I put these into such a way where I don't complain about them and I don't take them for granted? And I feel like when we take things for granted, we're looking at God and saying, why'd you do this to me? Or like, what's crazy is a lot of the things we take for granted now is the things we prayed about yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So I want to stay focused and talk about it. One of the main things I feel like we could do to not take life for granted or the things in our life for granted and to really be appreciative is either journal, write it down, write something down daily, something you're thankful for. Tell God what you're thankful for. I've heard this quote before that said, if you think all you had today was what you thanked God for yesterday, how much would you have? Now me, today I would have everything because I was thinking about making this video last night. And so I thought I thank God for everything that He's given me. But how often do I do that? If it would have been everything from the day before, I would have nothing. So one thing we need to do is just be more appreciative. I feel like when we're thinking about the hard things in our life or the bad things, whatever it is, the things that we're not pleased with, we can name them off just instantly, off the top of our head. Everything that displeases us, naming them instantly. But when it comes to the things that we can be thankful of, even though there's a lot more good than bad, sometimes we'll struggle like, man, what do I have to be thankful for? Like dealing with this part, whatever the case may be. But that's one thing. I guess that would be tip number one. Tip number two would be change your narrative in the hard times or the struggles in your life to say, this is what God wants me to go through. This is what God is putting me through to become the person that He wants me to be. Instead of saying, man, this is so hard, it's so difficult. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why you put me here, God. I don't know. I don't get it. Why are you doing this to me? Instead of thinking like that, thinking like it's a negative in your life, these things can really be positive. Because when you look back in 5 years and you look back to now, you'll say, well, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be who I am today. If you think about it right now, look back over the last 5 years of your life and think about all the good or the bad things, my bad things that happened to you, and think about it. And then you say, well, if it wasn't for those things, in some instances, I would have never seen how God showed up for me. I just wouldn't have that experience. But in other instances, like that molded me into who I was. So now I'm a better man, better woman, whatever, better brother, son, daughter, whatever it is. I'm better because of it. And tip number three, I would say, give your life to God. And I know this should probably be number one, but probably just, I'm assuming that most of the people who watch or are gonna watch are Christians. But when you give your life to God, it changes the way you think. And like me, when I'm complaining about my situation, I feel bad inside because I feel like I'm telling God I'm not thankful for what He's done. Like I complain about school a lot. I complain about football a lot. I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I complain about all these things a lot. And I take it for granted. The situation that I'm in. So I don't get why we take so much for granted, but we're human. We're gonna fail. We're gonna be selfish. We're gonna think about us and only us. One thing I want to say is there is somebody who don't have clothes on his back who would do anything to be in the position you're complaining about right now. Matter of fact, I'll go even further and say there's somebody that you know would do anything to be in your position. And all the time, we steadily complaining about it. And that just bothers me. I don't know about you. I want to change this. So tip number 1 was to, let me think. Write it in a journal. Tip number 2 was change the way you think about your problems and your trials. And tip number 3 is give your life to God. If you do these 3 things, I promise you'll live a more appreciative life, a more thankful and joyful life. Because when you flip your mindset, when you transition into thanking God for what he's done instead of complaining at God for what he's done, it'll give you a joy and a peace. Because if you do is think about the bad and you think about it badly, you'll feel bad. You will feel badly. But if you flip that and you appreciate, like, thankful to be sitting here right now, being able to share this message with y'all, appreciate that. Appreciate the hard, appreciate the good, appreciate the bad. If you really appreciate it and you write it down, able to look at it, see it, so you can tell yourself there are good things in my life and I'm thankful for these things in my life, you will be more fulfilled. So it's a simple video, simple thought, but I'm more interested in conveying the message than doing a bunch of fancy stuff, fancy edits, whatever the case may be. I want to convey the message, and I hope I did it good enough. Go check out 5 a.m. Pod. It's mine and my brother's podcast. We talk about faith and things that we struggle with, the things that we know that people around our age and our generation struggle with. So we talk about those things, and it's just a good way to start your morning. We need to be more consistent on it. It's just our schedules are so busy. He's a football player, I'm a football player. We both have classwork to do, stuff like that. So we just got a lot of stuff going on and we're trying to incorporate it. But anyways, y'all check that out. If y'all want to learn more, I'm interested in doing more videos like this to be able to talk and do these types of things because I love helping people. I want to be a help. So thank you for watching. There's a video here or here, somewhere here for one of my old videos, and then there's a subscribe button either one of the sides. There's a video on one side and a subscribe button on the other side. So don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in this video. But that's it for today. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good night.